Good day. This is Sign of the Times, Mr. Layman. It's September 28th. Now, in Zimbabwe, teachers are requesting a 500% salary increase for teaching during this ongoing pandemic.
Yes, Mr. Layman. Um, it looks like three police officers are currently they're about to be jailed for the murder of Nathaniel Julius. We'll get back to that Zimbabwe story a little bit later on, but they'll be denied bail, and looks like the mother of the slain Nathaniel Julius is quite happy with the outcome. Um, Obviously, along the road to recovery, she's also missing her son very much. Um, and she says that in their defense, they were lying. They completely denied a few things, probably because they were police officers and their reputation was at stake. Obviously, there is more in the story. We're just giving you the basics of what happened as it happens.
Thank you, Brian. I understand that Becky Chelly, our police minister, visited Kwandangezi following weekend killings. What have you got on that?
Well, Mr. Layman, the meeting in KZN just wrapped, and the family of the victims were obviously discussing things. Apparently, four men were ambushed. They were taken to a remote location and killed. They were in a minibus taxi at the time, and it does look like this was a matter of the public taking things into their own hands as they ambushed the taxi. So clearly there was motive, it wasn't just a random killing. They must have ambushed the taxi for a reason, and that's obviously still going to be discovered. That's obviously an ongoing investigation. Becky Chele has admitted that there's a genuine problem with the amount of killings happening and the rate of the killings, and something needs to be done.
Just what is the strategy to curb the violence?
Well, the Hawks are going to get involved, and Bekichelli's been handing out his personal mobile number, if you can believe that. So people are going to have the commissioner and police minister on speed dial should they need his services going forward.
Thank you, Brian. In other news, it does look like there's protests over the removal of informal settlements, and they're continuing in Johannesburg, while Eskom will be retiring some of its older units after receiving 11,000 megawatts. What is the story with Eskom?
Well, there's an additional 11,000 megawatts, and it's only going to take 3 years to kick in. So this is now to help us with our electricity crisis. It's not going to help us in the short term. It's going to take more than a year for us to access this 11,000 megawatts.
So is the price for electricity going to go up again?
Well, we are expecting an increase over the next 10 years, and this 11,000 megawatt procurement certainly wasn't the cheapest option. Had they built a nuclear power station, though, the increase would have been higher.
And what is the source of energy?
Well, it looks like it's going to be new coal power, wind, and solar power. I just want to tell you guys about SAA. They've been hit by a technical strike, and on the 11th hour, the staff were advised that they would only be getting 50% of their salaries, and the services provided to Mango and SAA is an essential service. And that they really should have been told that they were going to get a salary cut, because they are really essential to the smooth running of SAA and Mango. Apparently, the acting CEO is out of the country, as he has been for the past few months. And the technical crew want management and union reps to have a meeting later this afternoon.
How does this impact flight schedules?
That's a very good question, Mr. Layman. Um, it does look like pre-flight inspections are very important, and Mango says their flight schedule will be unaffected by the strike. The technical crew themselves say that this is untrue, as it's very concerning to think that the lack of tech crew on the ground before a flight will not directly affect the flight schedule. On other news, it looks like school bells did ring in Zimbabwe this morning, but educators are saying they won't be there. Um, the Progressive Teachers Union says they want a salary increase, and they really want some more money also to take care of COVID-19 because they're not being treated fairly.
Brian, I see you wearing a Leicester coloured beanie. Is that because they won 8-3 last night?
Yes, I was quite happy with the victory, and it's actually the only beanie I have. It just happens to be the same colours as Leicester. But it was a brilliant game. I managed to catch it. Also, we have a guy from Mitchell's Plain called Devin Peterson, and he managed to win against Johnny Clayton, you know, and that score was 8-3. I believe the Leicester game was 5-2. All right, it wasn't to be confused with the darts game. That was 5-2, and there was a few penalties that helped him along. There's a lot of money in darts. Apparently, he got $25,000. And while we're on the, I just want to wrap this up pretty quickly. Understand that it's raining in Cape Town today, and I really want you guys to keep warm, wear appropriate clothing, and yeah, back to you, Mr. Layman. Got some final words, some final thoughts?
Well, it's not continuous rain, so I guess you shouldn't let that stop you from doing what you need to do today. And yeah, just make history, man. Make history today. Don't let things stop you. Remember, every day create your history. It's National Sunday in the US at SON, and we need to make sure we rear our young men, make sure that they don't disrespect their communities, and also make sure they treat the opposite sex fairly. So that is the only passing thought I want to. Confucius, that would have he would have been quite a few thousand years old, I'd imagine by now, but his sayings are still very appropriate today. Just remember, it does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. And in those few words, Confucius teaches us about patience, perseverance, discipline, and hard work. That's Mr. Layman and Brian for Sign of the Times. Have a good afternoon.